Howdy-o, what do you know, it is Rabbit of ScrubLeet Academy, and these are the top 10 best feats in order in Baldur's Gate 3. This list will pertain to Honor Mode above all else, but you could take it as a reliable feat chain for pretty much every difficulty. I don't want to waste too much time talking about how this is my opinion, so just assume this list is completely infallible, okay? Alright, let's get to it. Number 10, Mobile. It's tough to put a feat at the bottom of the best list, but I think mobile is in the right spot here. It gives 10 movement speed, immunity to difficult terrain when dashing, and freedom from opportunity attacks when you move after attacking. It's incredibly useful for spreading effects around, but more than that, if you have dash as a bonus action, you can pretty much dominate the battlefield as a melee unit. The only reason it's here is that I rarely take it over any other option on this list, but it's a solid feat for the builds it's best for. Number 9, Tough. This is an interesting one. Its only value is to add 24 hit points to your character at maximum level on BG3, but on higher difficulties where getting 100 HP is actually kinda difficult, the extra 22 can sometimes be a 1/5 increase. Considering you'll have a wide array of hit points and Tough is universally useful, it's one of my absolute favorites to fill out a feat selection. Number 8, Dual Wielder. This one's fine for dual wielding combat styles, but it's particularly good for two kinds of builds, casters and paladins. For casters, it allows you to wield two staves, many of which increase your spell DCs or add special bonuses to your spells that are pretty invaluable to have. And paladins, well, we'll get to paladins in just a minute. It's not the best caster feat, and once you get Ketheric's Shield, it's arguably a better option to just equip the shield than a second staff, but this feat still has incredible value for the right build. Now, regarding paladins, dual wielding is a weirdly powerful specialization since it gives you more opportunities to take advantage of critical smite reactions, which happen way more often than you would think, especially in Act 3 when you get access to all the crit threat items. This just makes you way harder to deal with in melee and adds a bit of damage, so you'll have more uptime for those crits and provide a more potent threat. Either way, these builds just take complete advantage of this feat, and it is amazing for either one. Number 7, Warcaster. This is the second best feat for a caster to take and is pretty much necessary for certain builds. Paladins and clerics will find universal usage on this one since you'll pretty much always be wanting to hold concentration on a spell. But the opportunity spell is actually not too bad either. With your casters, it can actually give you a useful opportunity attack since your melee skills are probably not that great. Number 6, Lucky. Lucky is one of those feats that just works in every situation at any time. It allows you to reroll an attack, ability score, or saving throw 3 times per long rest, though only once per reroll. The added perk is that you can reroll enemy attacks, potentially causing them to miss. It's invaluable and speech checks can be useful for saving throws, but it's best when you need to land that hit and just missed it. It's so good when you combine it with any of the following feats, which are the best of the best and, despite being ranked, are all the tops of their respective playstyles, or just so good every build should have them. Number 5, Alert. An elixir, the Elixir of Vigilance, can be used to emulate this feat's effects, but considering the power of elixirs, you might want to save that for something better. That's where this feat comes in. Alert gives you +5 to initiative and immunity to the surprise condition, but it's way better than it sounds. You see, in BG3, initiative is rolled on a D4, a 4-sided die. That means you intrinsically beat every single creature that has equal dexterity to your character and lacks this feat or a special ability to help them gain more initiative, which accounts for very few creatures. Not to mention, you also get to roll the D4, which adds more of a gap between you and others. It's essential for clean sweeping mobs in a single turn, and is one of the best min-maxing feats you can pick up. Number 4, Great Weapon Master. Don't be upset where this ended up. Trust me, it is literally the top feat of its playstyle. If you want to use a two-handed weapon, this is the first and best feat for you in the whole game. It's just not as good as the rest, which can break this poor game wide open. Numerically speaking, Great Weapon Master outputs insane damage and is, mathematically and logically, rarely not worth toggling on all of the time. The only time I ever turn this off is when I know my minimum damage will kill a target and I gain accuracy without using it. Otherwise, the +10 damage is ridiculously overpowered. All that without accounting for the potential bonus attack, which procs a lot. This is the go-to feat for a two-handed build. Number 3, Sharpshooter. This feat beats Great Weapon Master for one reason and one reason alone. Hand crossbows. Hand crossbows are absurdly broken in Baldur's Gate 3. They benefit from the two-weapon fighting combat style. Each crossbow can proc Sharpshooter's extra damage. Your main hand crossbow can benefit from special arrow types to augment its damage further, and you always get a bonus attack with your offhand where Great Weapon Master has to rely on chance. It's a good chance, mind you, but ranged weapons just have so many advantages over melee and the extra damage can't keep up. Not to mention the archery combat style and ability to attack from low ground without penalty really cover a lot of the accuracy penalties of Sharpshooter's all-in toggle. It's absolutely deserving of this spot over Great Weapon Master. Number 2, Tavern Brawler. The cheese that can be done with this feat is insane. This is one of the reasons that an Elixir of Cloud Giant Strength is considered overpowered, since it effectively adds plus 15% accuracy and 6 damage to every single attack you make, and the throwing weapon strategy is pretty much exclusive to Barbarian Thrower builds. But another area this shines is in unarmed strike damage. That is the single highest boost to damage you can get in the whole game without any cost whatsoever, and especially with unarmed strikes, you can add that to each strike. Take a free bonus action from Thief, Wholeness of Body, Flurry of Blows from Monk, and an extra attack, and you're looking at some insane damage output. There is a reason this is considered one of the strongest builds in all of BG3, and a clear contender for the best feat in the entire game. Number 1, Ability Score Increase, ASI. Yeah, you knew this would end up here. Pretty much every single build in the game needs at least one ability score increase. All casters can use 2 of these for DCs, since they effectively add +1 to hit and damage, as well as to skills, DCs, and sometimes spell damage, depending on the build. A lot more aside, but that's the good stuff. And that accuracy is amazing when you're a fighter and can't quite hit something with Great Weapon Master. Not to mention, early to mid-game casters adore casting haste before they massacre pretty much everything in an area effect. And making sure you do maximum damage is crucial. With the right spells, vulnerability, and high DCs, casters are some of the best boss killers as well, at least until the later levels when everything starts to get crazy. And those are the absolute best feats in Baldur's Gate 3, but not all of the good feats. I've got another video coming in a couple of days with some more praise for BG3's better feats, so keep an eye out for that one. If you liked what you saw, do all the stuff everybody tells you to do, and don't forget to do more of the stuff everybody tells you to do. That said, I'm gonna get up out of here, but you take care, and bye-bye for now.